A podcast? Did your radio show get canceled?
Fire. Low down and filthy, but the discipline is on point. Schooled myself, made my own dojo. A cold flow with the whole dose of soul. Maintain composure, even in fury. An anomaly, properties undiscernible to mere peasants.
This week on the Pete the Planner Show, I'm on location in Pasadena, California, and millennial producer Nicole is running the board back home. Hello, Nicole.
Hi, Pete.
This is weird. You don't have to look at me today, so that's probably good.
I was just going to say, this is like the longest conversation I've had with you in over a week now.
I know. That's good for you. And my voice is back. The return of the voice. Nicole, I do have to warn you, though, during our conversation here today.
Yes.
You may hear a squawking in the background, and you may say, "Kay?" Which is what? That sound is the famed Pasadena Parrots. The wild parrots that live in Pasadena that fly through the air and squawk like a car alarm.
Like a pterodactyl.
Kind of, yeah, actually. Have I ever sent you a little video clip of the parrots going nuts?
No, you haven't.
I should.
You should.
I will.
Especially after this. Now I'm curious.
Oh, yeah. So I got a big day today. By the way, let's talk about what's on the show today.
Yeah.
This just almost turned into like a friendly conversation.
Right, just catching up.
How you doing, buddy? So here's what's on the show today, everybody. I have a lot of travel coming up. Clearly, I'm in Pasadena right now. And so we're going to talk about cost of living around the United States, how it impacts where you work and how your employer pays you and where companies locate to, and so on and so forth. Did you hear that squawking?
I did. Just barely, though.
Yeah, that's a parrot.
It's
so that's what we're talking about today. Does that work for you?
Yeah.
Frank?
Oh, yeah.
Where was I going with this? Oh, here's what I got today. I'm doing the show here with you all. I'm going to go to this Italian grocery store in Pasadena and get something called the sandwich, which is just this sandwich this old Italian guy makes you, and he chooses the ingredients. You just say, "I'd like a sandwich." He chooses it.
Oh, my God.
And then you eat the sandwich. It's like world famous. Delicious.
I was going to say, I feel like if you're going to do that, though, like he would be one to be well trusted for that if you're getting the sandwich.
No, I mean, he's sort of the original sandwich artiste. I think Subway ripped him off.
Wow, what a title to have.
I know. Then I'm heading to Disney, the Magic Kingdom, to talk to some people about money. All right, so, Frank, cost of living. We're going to base our conversation off of where we are based out of, normally, the Indianapolis, Indiana area, okay? So we're going to use that as ground zero of affordable living. And frankly, Frank, that's what... It is affordable, right?
Yeah, actually, I had the opportunity to travel here about 2.5 months ago when I got that lovely black eye. And we had that harsh reality of even just being, a couple thousand miles to the west and what that looked like for prices.
So here's what we're going to do. We're going to use a base income. I had to choose an income to compare everything to today. So we're going to take $50,000 of Indianapolis income. Do you want to do that? We can use a different number if you want. What do you want to do? Let's make this about you. What number do you
No, I think 50 is good. Because it's 50? It's nothing out strenuous, but it's nothing, you're not like, I don't know. You're not doing a part-time. In
some way, I went on a date with my sister-in-law last night to meet my brother-in-law for a drink. And we started talking about money and what they get paid out here versus what you get paid back home, where we are home in Indianapolis. And it just occurred to me, it's like, man, things is different. So let's take $50,000. We're going to take various different cities throughout today's show. We're going to talk about the cost of living in different cities. And then again, sort of the ramifications for retirement. And here's the sneak preview of that, Nicole.
Ooh.
If you can put $18,500 a year away into your 401k right now. That is the maximum 49 years old and younger, right? That is the max out.
Yeah.
If $18,500 in Indianapolis is worth something, $18,500 is worth a lot less than other places. So its impact in terms of the tax benefit is stupid. It doesn't even make sense.
Silly. All
right, so here's where do you want to start? I started the week in San Francisco, so let's start there. To earn the equivalent of $50,000 in Indianapolis. In San Francisco, according to NerdWallet's cost of living calculator, you would have to earn $96,626.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. No way.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, and so there's a lot that goes into this calculation, but one of the important elements here is like, what are the individual expense categories that make this so?
Yeah.
For instance, with San Francisco, housing prices are 290% higher than they are in Indianapolis, Indiana.
290%.
Yeah, dude, if you had a 2-bedroom apartment to rent in Indy, it costs about $1,003 a month on average. Now,
oh my gosh,
I don't know. We live there. Do you believe that to be accurate?
Yeah. Well, actually, it's funny that you brought this, like, where we're choosing to, because my special friend has a really good friend from high school who lives in a little suburb, like right outside LA. It's not even one of the most prestigious areas. And he and his brother split a 2-bedroom apartment, and their rent a month is like $2,000 and change.
Okay. What area? Can you tell me?
Oh, it's like it's right outside LA. He works in LA, and then he drives a half hour outside
we'll get
of
to
that.
LA. So in San Francisco, for that same apartment, and I don't know if I believe this number because having been out there and having friends in San Francisco, I don't believe this number. $3,519 a month for that same apartment, which again, I honestly, I don't know if I buy that because I have friends that rent out there that pay a lot more for a lot less.
Yeah.
And then the median home price, Nicole, is crazier. So in Indianapolis, the median home price for a 3-bedroom, 2-bath home is $243,692.
Yeah, that sounds about right. That sounds about right on.
In San Francisco, it is $1,001,000 for the same home.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
Think about the cornfields of central Indiana that are now production home neighborhoods, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah. That's exactly what I go to, is just thinking about, because that was one of those too, like the median price that you just gave, that's not even like a small home, like a 2-bedroom home or anything. Like that's giving you some decent sized living space in addition to probably a little bit of land that you live on.
Right. Yeah. Enough to put a fence up to keep your dog in the yard. Right?
I didn't know where you were going to go with that.
I didn't either, actually. That's what happened. But a Pasadena parrot flew by and I got distracted. A couple other elements here before we move on to a different city. Transportation costs are 43% higher in San Francisco than Indianapolis. Food costs are 39% higher. Entertainment costs are 22% higher, and then healthcare costs is 21% higher. So let's actually move down the road from San Francisco to more the Los Angeles area.
Yeah.
And actually, I'm going to choose Long Beach. I don't know why.
Just feels good.
Why am I choosing Long Beach? I don't know. Let's pick. Well, you know what? It's my choice. That's what we're choosing.
Yeah, maybe just go with it.
55% higher. The cost of living in Long Beach, California is 55% higher than Indianapolis. You would have to earn $77,489 to have the $50,000 income Central Indiana.
God. I'm absolutely just shook. I am, though. And it's like one of those, this isn't even the first time that I've heard this information. Like, I'm very well aware of it, especially when my special friend's best friend was home over Christmas break. We were talking about how he'll go out and get a beverage or two, and there's like $30 or $35 just for drinks on a random night.
Well, you know, we were talking last night with my brother-in-law and sister-in-law, like their home value has gone up in the last, I don't know, 4 years since they bought this place. Mm-hmm. Probably 25%.
Oh my God.
Mrs. Planner and I, the home we bought in 2007 has maybe gone up 10% over a decade, maybe. So, and we'll get there. I mean, I think part of the strategy, what we're going to be talking about here shortly, is if you're in an area like Pasadena or LA or San Francisco, and you intend to move out of that area in a defined period of time, like, hey, we are going to be here for 5 years and then we're rolling out. Mm-hmm. I think, Nicole,
yes,
that a great wealth building strategy is to force yourself into home ownership while you're here and let the appreciation of the market build wealth. So when you leave and you sell your house for hundreds of thousands of dollars more and you go to a lower cost area to live, like in Indianapolis,
Yeah.
you've made huge inroads. One of my best friends moved from Honolulu back to Indianapolis early in his career, having moved out there with his wife. They did that. They forced themselves. They struggled to buy a condo. And when they left, they made hundreds of thousands of dollars and was able to buy a home for cash when they came back to Central Indiana.
What an ideal situation.
It is, but it's sticky. So what we're going to do after the break, we're going to come back in a couple more cities. I mean, I think the cities are interesting. We'll get to Manhattan, of course, and maybe we'll try to find a place that's cheaper to live in, like Boise or something, than Central Indiana. Then we're going to talk about why places like Amazon, when they choose to put a headquarters somewhere, why this stuff matters. This is the Pasadena Parrot edition of the Pete the Planner Show. There's a lot of alliteration there. Isn't Pasadena Parrot Pete the Planner? You get that, Nicole?
I was going to say, I kind of like how that already wrote itself for a title.
It really did. That helped you with your blog post this week. All right. So all this and more, the cost of living calculator, that's alliteration too. Pasadena Parrot Pete the Planner Show. Be back in just a moment.
Stop what you're doing. Log on and hit Pete up on Twitter at Pete the Planner.
Primo beat, man. Kanye let this one go. Man. Sound good to me. I never question the right of any man to voice his opinion as strongly as any can. But then again, many men are citizens of their own little world, so they ain't really fitting in. I'm in the background blending in, camouflaged by the scenery, but I'm a champion.
Back on the Pete the Planner Show, the field correspondent, Peter Dunn, on the road in Pasadena, California today. Nicole, man in the studio back home. Hey, buddy.
Hey. I don't know what my voice just did there, but whatever.
That was really weird. Cost of living is the topic today. So, Nicole, when we were out last night, we went to a cocktail lounge, like a really nice cocktail lounge, and you know it was going to be expensive because the bartender had a man bun and a beard.
Oh, yeah, that's just setting yourself up for some expensive hipster stuff.
I was thinking like a $31, like old fashioned. It was only $14, which isn't that bad.
Right? I was just thinking, I was like, it could have been worse, which is so sad.
You know what's weird? I had a business meeting. Why would I say business meeting? Was that weird how I just said business meeting?
I don't know. I guess you could have like a variety of meetings. Like we have meetings, but I wouldn't always consider them business meetings.
I think you should start calling them business meetings.
It makes you sound very official.
I was in a business meeting yesterday morning in downtown LA at this iconic restaurant called the Pacific Dining Car.
Ooh.
You're going to have to look this place up.
Yeah, I'm going to have to get on the Googles.
And there were 5 of us eating breakfast, and we just ordered food. Like, we just ordered, like, I had an egg white omelet with chicken and zucchini. Why? Because I'm physically fit. By the way, we're on day 129 of working out in a row.
Oh, my gosh. We haven't had an update in a minute, it feels like.
Yeah. Up to day 129, I've worked out through my illness, which is probably why I stayed sick longer. So go figure. and the 5 of us ate breakfast. Nicole, I want you to guess how much breakfast costs for 5 people. Nothing. One person had oatmeal, and we all had coffee. Okay. One person had tea. It wasn't me. How much was breakfast?
With tip, I'm going to guess you're getting close to $200.
$200.
Yeah. $20 for each of you. Especially if you guys having coffee and whatnot, $3 or $4 for a cup of coffee, tea. Yeah. Oh my God. I totally believe it, which is sad, but I believe it, which might make it worse.
$32 egg white omelet.
No way.
I wonder if the chicken that laid the egg got paid more.
It probably did.
And you know, I sound like an old guy complaining about the omelet was $32.
But the omelet was $32. I'm sorry.
Right. All right, New York City, Manhattan. To make $50,000, the equivalent of $50,000 in Indianapolis monies, you would need to earn $125,000.
Oh my God.
the cost of housing is 469% higher.
100% believe it.
An apartment, instead of being $1,003, a 2-bedroom apartment, the median apartment, 2-bedroom in Manhattan, is $4,088 a month. And by the way, bedroom is going to be used quite liberally there because it's really a broom closet.
Yeah.
And like a cubby hole.
Oh my gosh,
then that's
yeah.
$4,000.
I have a sorority sister who works for Macy's, and she says that she could have like made a down payment and comfortably had a 15-year mortgage for what she pays for her 1-bedroom out of quote unquote 3-bedroom apartment that she has 2 other roommates with.
The median home price for a 3-bedroom, 2-bath home, of course, in Indianapolis, per the last segment, is $243,000. And in New York, to get a home with 3 bedrooms and 2 baths would cost a brother $1.6 million and change. You know? You know one of the weird things about looking at this stuff here too is the increase in entertainment costs in New York City. The average movie price is 50% higher.
Yeah.
Bowling is 300% more.
Bowling, like of all things. That's what's
pricey. A 6-pack of Heineken though is only 50% more. Oh. The bowling though, that's a lot of real estate. Those lanes, man.
Oh, I didn't even think about that. Yeah. Oh my God.
So, Amazon is trying to pick a second headquarters, and this is like the big talk, especially in central Indiana, because Indianapolis is one of the final 20 to have a chance at headquarters. And I'd like to do a show, like a full show on this sometime, because, well, maybe we'll do it after the selection's made, because God forbid my perspective on
it. They were like, well, we were going to come to Indianapolis.
Right. I don't
need that. But this Pete the Planner and Nicole got on their radio show.
That's
and
right.
we changed our minds.
I have a good friend who has a pretty large business in central Indiana. And he and I were talking about it once. Mm-hmm. And we all talk about what a great thing it would be for Amazon to come. But his perspective as to why it would be awful is really intriguing. And actually, Frank, you and I might have to talk about this off the air at some point, and then we'll see if it can translate to a segment.
I was going to say, because I've heard mixed opinions as well, and it's really interesting why people are against it, because I'm just like, you're not completely wrong.
Well, I mean, you think about our hiring process. Why are we getting into this? Anyway, you think about our hiring processes, Nicole, that we have at work. Mm-hmm. Do you know how much harder it would be?
Oh, yeah.
To get good talent for the what is now the right price, what would then be the wrong price?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. That's like one of those, yes, there are so many advantages, but also then there are little things, especially for small businesses like ourselves, where what a challenge that would present us with.
So if Amazon were to go to Manhattan, which is a possibility, or Washington, D.C., mm-hmm. And we're making stuff up here, but let's say their average salary was $50,000 that they were going to pay their employees, like these thousands and thousands of employees. Nicole, they would have to pay, dollars are dollars when you spend them nationally. They would have to pay 150% more to employ the same person in New York than they would in Indianapolis.
Oh my gosh.
And my voice, I'll try to make it higher and higher.
And
the real estate that they would have to buy would be so much more expensive as a company when there are cornfields we can fill in that real estate with in central Indiana.
Right. Oh my gosh. My mind just goes to, like, example for us. We're fortunate to have a big business like Salesforce downtown, but still they occupy an entire building that used to not be theirs.
So that's the impact. That's the impact of why this cost of living stuff is so important. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to take one more break. Actually, we have several more breaks. We have any break? We have 2 more breaks left. Let's take another break right now. And when we come back, I want to talk about how to take advantage of cost of living differences and how not to take advantage of cost of living differences. So all that and more in the Pasadena Parrots version of the Pete the Planner Show. We'll be back after these words.
Yeah. Axe hand on the beat. Yes, sir. Glass House. Yes, sir. Mr. Kinetic, Rusty Redenbacher. ATFU. Naptown. Yeah. Peace to Fetty and Fredo. Helicopter choppers. Yeah, y'all ain't hip yet. Cashing in like the end of the game at the casino. I lean so the glare of the rear view don't hit me. Swiftly through the avenues and boulevards. Old soul playing on my speakers. Old soul but young in age, a boss player. Not from the Himalayas, but my fam gave me Gary, Indiana game. Grew up around the country, but the mind.
Back on the Pete the Planner Show, cost of living edition of the show. Live, and by live, I mean recorded in Pasadena, California and Carmel, Indiana. Hey, Nicole.
Hey, Pete.
Next week I will be in Boston and Atlanta. So, Nicole, I ask you, your choice, you're the producer here.
Yeah.
Which show shall we record the show in? Do you care?
Ooh, I see. Boston's got a soft place in my heart, so we'll probably go to Boston.
Do you ever listen to the music of the city you're in on your phone or whatever when you're in the city? That's a big thing I like to do. Like when I was in the Bay Area, which was San Francisco, not Oakland. But when people say Bay Area, they mean Oakland. But I was there earlier this week, and I was listening to, of course, E40 and Too Short, because that's what you have to do.
That's what you have to do.
And then, Kendrick Lamar out here in L.A.
Hello, Kendrick.
Atlanta, I will be listening to, of course, Outkast. Boston, what am I going to listen to in Boston?
I don't know.
John Fogerty? Like, what? What? Is he from Boston? No one knows.
I don't know.
Okay.
No one knows.
Was it Everlast from House of Pain?
Oh, no.
Is he from Boston?
I don't know. See, again, no one knows and no one cares except us.
All right. So here's how you leverage the cost of living.
Ooh, before you
your
go on,
advantage.
it is kind of great because there'll be times where it'll just distort your voice like for a couple seconds and you sound a little robo. It's cool.
What if I were a cyborg?
I like how we've gone from what if I got really good looking to what if I was a cyborg.
Nicole, in the San Francisco airport this week, I met a fan of the show.
A fan
Random
of the show?
guy came up to me and he said he listened to the show. He was from Denver. I think his name was Bob. So Bob, if you're listening right now,
That's
Nicole
so
and I say
cool.
hello.
Yes, hello. Oh, it's so cool.
That's a weird thing, just so you know. I like it.
Right, I like it. Like the fact that we reached someone in Denver who you happen to cross paths with in San Francisco. Like, that's cool. The universe is cool.
No one cares. All right, so listen.
Everyone cares.
Let's say that you are interviewing for a job, and let's call it a top 10 expensive city. Okay, so let's populate that list. New York, DC, San Diego, San Francisco, LA, right? Those sorts of cities.
Those little ditties.
Let's say you're interviewing for a job there in which you're able to work remotely. What's interesting about that is and you don't, because there's those opportunities. In fact, Nicole, we have employees that work remotely all over this country.
Which is really cool.
So if you're doing that, the wage is going to be based on, most likely, depending on the company, where the company is based.
Oh. Which can either be really good.
Than when we do business with businesses in these areas, we quote them our fees.
Yeah.
And it is more affordable to hire us in bigger cities because the cost of living and to do business in Indianapolis is cheaper than to do it in San Francisco.
Wow. I never even thought about that. The more you know.
All right. So here's the thought. Let's say you're right out of college, which you're not right out. You kind of are, but you aren't.
Right? Yeah. That's like one of those it's weird. Like that whole timeline is wishy-washy since I was essentially working full time before I graduated and walked. So yeah.
Right.
Right.
So here's the thing. Let's say you interview at a Salesforce, or I don't know why we keep picking Salesforce, but we are.
Because it's just the big one around here.
And you're going to work remotely, or you're going to, I don't know, whatever. And then you get to choose the place you want to live. And you don't particularly care other than you want to choose somewhere cool, right? Whatever.
Cool.
You could take the income based out of the big city and live somewhere super affordable.
Yeah.
Like crazy affordable. Let's go to Boise. What do you think about that? Boise, Idaho.
I don't know. I've never heard Boise being super affordable, but I'm intrigued what that cost of living looks like. Because I don't
know. I've just sort of made this up. I could be wrong.
I was going to say, because I think even Indianapolis's cost of living is fairly generous for what we get, you know?
The cost of living is 1% higher in Indianapolis than it is in Boise.
Wow. So we do have it really good.
Yeah, it's so weird. So housing is 1% higher in. Wait, hold on. I currently live in Boise, and I want to live in it. 1% higher in Indianapolis, the cost of housing. Mm-hmm. Transportation is 12% lower.
Oh.
Because the price of gas is higher in Boise than Indy.
Okay.
Healthcare cost is 7% lower in Indy than Boise. So weird, right?
Yeah, really weird.
So you and I have a mutual friend who lives in the Colorado area, who works for an Indianapolis-based company.
I'm so glad you brought this up because I was already thinking about this.
So he lives in Boulder.
Yeah.
So let's do this Boulder-wise here. Let's see what the realities of that is, because he's getting an Indianapolis-based wage, right?
Yeah.
So okay, let's find Grand Junction, Glenwood Springs. That's the closest we're going to find. The cost of living is 6% lower in Denver, Colorado. Oh wait, hold on. That's the problem. Sorry.
You're good.
Sorry, everybody. It's my first time hosting a radio show over Skype. The cost of living is 20% higher in Denver than it is in Indianapolis.
That's not terrible.
Right?
Compared to what we were just looking at, that's really not that bad.
It isn't. But the weird thing is, let's say the person makes 50.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, he probably does. Let's say he makes 50. He would have to earn 60 to live the 50 lifestyle in Denver.
Okay.
Right? So that is to say, his quality of life, because he's working for a company based in an inexpensive area and he's living in an expensive area, his quality of life is not great compared to living in Indianapolis. However, when you're able to walk out your door and climb a mountain, your quality of life shifts a little bit.
Just a touch.
And I think that's where I want to take the rest of the show, is this idea that just because you can get a better house or food is cheaper or it means nothing, because where you live is really about interacting with your community and what is there to do based on your interests. Do you like weather? Do you hate weather? And I think too many people don't give themselves the bandwidth or they have the courage to move from where they grew up.
Yes.
I didn't. I don't. I love living in Central Indiana, but I have never seriously considered moving.
Yeah, it's interesting because right now, obviously, people have kind of encouraged my special friend and I that if we're going to move, that now would be the time to move before we would ever consider moving back to have family around us when we had kids. But it's one of those, it's so hard to kind of consider doing that when we both make very comfortable livings and get to go to live shows as frequently as we want to. And it's really hard to kind of give that up to live somewhere else.
And then again, I mean, everything factors into it. I mean, you think about my brother-in-law and sister-in-law, each commute 90 minutes one way.
Yeah, no way.
Dude, I commute, if I walk, 6 minutes, and if I drive, 41 seconds.
Right, and that's like one of those, even right now, my commute is between 20 minutes and a half hour, depending on what traffic looks like, and that's nothing.
Right.
And even then, I'm just like, oh, half hour is getting a little long, but I can't even imagine begin to like a 90-minute commute one way.
Well, I think about my day yesterday full of business meetings. Started with a $200 breakfast downtown. I then had a meeting in Pasadena, and then I had a meeting in Beverly Hills. And by the time I got back to Pasadena, the day was over, Nicole.
Yeah.
So here's the point. If you are going to move, take this into consideration. Right. Please take this into consideration. And if you're going to move and you're going to move without a job, right? You're going to say, well, I'll figure it out when I get there. Or maybe there is one job and the significant other is the person that still needs to find a job when they get there. You have to understand your lifestyle is going to change significantly. And your retirement is going to change. I think, again, we talked about this strategy earlier. If you're going to live in a super expensive city and you do feel like you have a hankering to move somewhere cheaper, at a particular, there's my Midwesternness. Oh, I have a story for you here in a second.
Oh, you
do? To move to a cheaper place, use that to your advantage to take advantage of the real estate market in the more expensive area. And then when you move back mortgage free in a cheaper place. And especially in retirement, because then you can retire with sort of West Coast money in a Midwest place where you're going to be able to have a more comfortable retirement from a healthcare perspective.
Yeah.
And just living in general.
Concur.
All right, we're up against it. I got to hit the break, Nicole. But I'm going to tell you my story when we get back. We're also going to have biggest waste of money of the week and more. So this is the. Have you heard any Parrots? No.
No, not yet. Not within a couple minutes.
All right, I'm in Pasadena, so maybe you'll hear the Pasadena Parrots next. Here when we come back on the Pete the Planner Show.
Every day living through the peace of my soul, I remain whole, even in the middle of the pain. Even though my life has the rain, I still remain sane, writing and creating for my life. And my pen is my sword given by the Lord, and I use it to fight the tides of restriction. Sometimes I'm conflicted, find myself looking at the trees too much and can't see the forest. Enemy shall inherit the earth, and I want to inherit something other than the high blood pressure and diabetes. So work is what I gotta do. Stay true to my enemy and water the trees that I sing from, and look out for the lumberjacks. Running with the gale force wind at my back. Swift and enduring, I remain calm. Swift and enduring, I remain calm. Swift and enduring, I remain calm. This lays great errors to rest. Let me remain.
All right, back on the Pete the Planner Show, on the road in Pasadena this week, broadcasting to you from Pasadena. Nicole's back in the studio. Hello, Frank.
Hello.
I don't know why I say hello to you at the beginning of every segment. I think it's because I'm not there.
I know, I was going to say, this is really nice. I know that a lot of our coworkers don't get this time, but it's cool to just sit and have a conversation about whatever we want with you.
You know, oddly enough, this is kind of what we talk about when we're just hanging out at the office anyway.
Yeah, so maybe this is a little more productive.
So for the next several weeks, what we're going to do is we are going to do the show on the road. So next week we'll be either in Boston or where's the other? Atlanta. And the next week we're going to do Austin. And then I'll be back in California the week after that. So we're going to do it from there. So Nicole, I think we got to get used to this.
I was going to say, plot twist. What if I call in then when you're in the office and I'm in California?
When you're at Coachella, if you do a live thing from Coachella.
Oh my God. It is going to be.
I don't know if I can handle that.
I know. Oh my gosh. We haven't even got to discuss about Beyonce and Jay-Z announcing their tour and what that means for the lineup for Coachella.
Well, that is exciting. I would love to see Beyonce and Jay-Z, but I have to tell you, as I have told you, my worst nightmare is something like Coachella.
See, and that's like, this is my I get to spend my birthday with Beyonce and now Jay-Z.
But there's so many people and they're sweaty.
Oh my gosh. Actually, speaking of Coachella, my special friend did a really sweet thing. He went on to one of the clothing websites that I like, and he just bought my whole cart full of clothes that I wanted to get for Coachella.
Oh my gosh.
I know. What a sweetie, right?
Big baller. Did he rob a bank?
Yeah, I don't know. I didn't ask questions. For once, I did not ask questions.
So this week's biggest waste of money of the week is not that, because that's a very sweet thing to do. It's the $32 egg white omelet I had at the Pacific Dining Car in Los Angeles, California. Nicole, here's the thing, and I don't, this is like a vocal Yelp review here. I, of course, had to also valet park, which was complimentary, but I had to tip a fella.
Yeah, you got to tip a fella.
But, it was nice. I mean, he took my car, drove it 71 feet.
Safely.
And then when I handed him the ticket, he brought it back to me 71 feet. I handed him a few dollars after my friend bought me a $32 omelet. And the omelet was okay. I could make a better omelet, in my opinion, that is free 99. And
I was gonna say, during the break, you and I had a discussion as well where they would say #blessed to have a little local chain, a little breakfast local chain that does a really killer omelet.
I was in an elevator after a business meeting. Oh, I have another story. So many stories this week.
Yes.
And a guy was telling me that Pasadena was founded by, as he said, Indianans.
Yes, Indianans.
And I was like, my friend, we're Hoosiers.
Indianans is funny, though.
Okay, so this is a little bit of a weird story, and I am hesitant to tell it, which means I should definitely tell it.
Yeah, it is. So if I've learned anything from this radio show, it's that.
So my friend and I are having lunch yesterday at a cheaper place in Beverly Hills before a business meeting.
It was only $20 for an omelet.
No, I think I had like a $9 sandwich.
Oh.
Not bad.
Yeah.
And so he says to me, we're in the heart of the Me Too movement right now. I mean, he's like, we're at the epicenter. And I was like, what? And he's like, the Harvey Weinstein is like Beverly Hills, like this is the heart of it. And so I was like, that's interesting to think about. I mean, like it was sort of just a weird comment, and I acknowledged it. And
you were like, let's just keep it moving now, though.
Yeah, let's keep it moving because this is
let's
awkward.
not talk about this.
We exit the sandwich shop and go up the elevator. There's this building that has 2 towers.
I saw your oh my God.
The elevator to the 7th floor to go to our meeting. And the elevator's open.
Yeah. Yeah.
And we are in the offices of Weinstein Pictures or whatever it's called, Miramax.
Oh my God, I saw your Instagram story. I'm so glad you brought this up. Oh my God, because my special friend and I saw this yesterday and we were like, you were the last person that would be anywhere near this.
Yeah, so what we did was we went in the wrong tower. So we went in the West Tower and we're supposed to go in the East Tower or something like that, to the wrong floor. Oh. And so we were just talking about it. Like it was just like a weird thing. And we go up and like, we're there.
Oh my God, the universe, Pete.
It was spooky.
Yeah. Oh my God. Wild.
There's people like tuned into the show today going, man, I can't wait to hear some great financial information.
Meanwhile, it's just Pete and Frank play catch up.
This is totally what we'd be talking about on Treat Trolley Friday if I was there.
Oh, I'm so sad. We didn't even get to have like a final treat trolley before your traveling began.
Yeah, well, I'll work out something for you guys. Don't you worry. All right, so listen.
Thanks.
Let's do a couple more cities. Compare cost of living in a couple more cities. What do you want to do? Anything interest you? I thought about.
Well, I Googled and I saw that places in Texas and I think it was Memphis, Tennessee or something, that those were some of the like, oh yeah, Memphis, Tennessee is like the second cheapest place to live in the United States. Who would have thought? In Fayetteville, Arkansas?
My daughter, Ollie, is convinced that Memphis is pronounced Memphis. It's Memphis.
Oh,
and I don't have the heart to, can I tell you a story? This is awful.
Yes.
I should not tell the story.
You've got 45 seconds.
So we have what?
You have 45 seconds.
Oh, I don't. I got 2 minutes.
Huh? Oh, I'm talking out of my butt. Go ahead.
All right. So let's edit that. So there's a substitute teacher in my daughter's class the other day.
Yeah.
And the kids weren't paying attention. And my daughter, being my daughter, she's getting very upset.
Yeah.
That the kids aren't listening.
Yeah.
And she's on the student advisory council. And she's in 3rd grade. And she stands up.
No.
And she says, as your student advisory council representative, I demand you start listening to the teacher.
Oh my
God. All the kids told her to shut up and sit down.
Kids are so mean. I mean, they really should have. Oh, but oh my God, she is the best for that. One, I'm 0% surprised, but it's even more amazing that she did that as your student council representative.
Yeah, she played the I'm on the student council card, which really goes over well.
Yeah, oh, it's got to go over well. But oh my God.
As your bureaucratic official.
She's already playing that card. Oh, she is so smart. Like that's so good, but so bad.
Sorry, I stepped on you. As we wrap up in the next 40 seconds here, I did just look up Austin, Texas, which everyone points to as like an amazingly cool place.
Yeah,
right?
I have an old dance colleague that now lives there.
Which I will be there in 2 weeks, right? So
yes.
I know one knows. It is only 4% higher than Indianapolis in cost of living.
Yeah.
Like that's the sort of place.
Yeah,
right?
oh my gosh, yeah, no, that's why she did that. Yeah, because she was so comfortable there still.
Well, we got to wrap this show up. Thanks, everyone, for listening to Frank and I catching up like two little girls, teeny boppers, catching up on our weeks. Next week, we'll broadcast from Boston or Atlanta. You choose. You know what? Email us, askpete@PeteThePlanner.com. Tell us which city to broadcast from, or Twitter, @PeteThePlanner, Boston or Atlanta. Thanks, Frank, as always, and reminding you, sending good vibes, because good vibes are all that's in the budget. I'm Pete the Planner, and I'm in Pasadena.
If you want to be on this podcast and have Pete fix your money life, then hit us up at PeteThePlanner.com/podcast. You heard me. PeteThePlanner.com/podcast. Log on.
This is for information purposes only. It's not the Swiss financial planning device. Consult a financial advisor.
Released from Everest, the fresh is fresh, and you can call me E.T. Word to John Tesh. Let me bless this harmonic presentation. It's amazing, so amazing. I'm the reason. Salutations, I bring you love-trying greetings from a faraway land. I am the sole controller. Put the remote down and let me take control. You're now a part of my zone, so enjoy yourself. Love-trying can restore your health. I bring you greetings. Salutations, how you doing? And is that how y'all say it? The tinkling of the keys is an homage to the little star. I sojourn over poetic descriptions of sound and travel to my other world. Out of this world, spaceship on my arm took me home, fueled by the ink and the megabytes and the hypertext transfer protocol, stronger than the Skynet and the Terminator. I push faders into warp speed, glide with ease, creating a breeze they call a black hole. Event horizon, no rear view concerns. This I adjourn, and beats I burn. This I adjourn, and beats I burn. Salutations, I bring you love-trying greetings from a faraway land. I am the sole controller. Put the remote down and let me take control. You're now a part of my zone, so enjoy yourself. Love-trying can restore your health. I bring you greetings. Salutations, how you doing? And is that how y'all say it?